So have you ever felt like your job was getting in the way of ministry? Now listen, we know that your job can be your ministry and should be your ministry, but there are times when the Lord calls you into vocational ministry. And that happened with Joe and Diane. And here's their amazing story.
So Joe and Diane were engineers working in New York City. They were commuting 2 hours to work every day, living in northeastern Pennsylvania, and they had an awesome church, Wallenpaupack Church, an awesome pastor, Ken Platt. But the thing is, Joe and Diane Krajacek felt this stirring. God was calling them to reach people in their community in Lords Valley, Pennsylvania, and they just had this deep sense that God was actually calling them into the ministry and to be part of church planting.
So the amazing thing is that their call was solidified at an encounter weekend, hosted in Harrisburg by Ariel Ramos. And incredible weekend. They came down not knowing what to expect, but God used that in combination with Pastor Ken Platt's discipleship and leadership in their life and other ways. The Lord began to navigate their journey to take this bold step of faith. And here it is. A year ago, they planted Momentum Church right in Lords Valley, Pennsylvania, right in Acts 12:24 conference. An incredible story of their faith and faithfulness. But there's more.
So since then, Joe and Diane have actually left their lucrative jobs as engineers in New York City, and they took the plunge into full-time pastoral ministry with Acts 12:24 churches. The church is thriving at Momentum Church. People are coming to Christ and being baptized in droves. And get this, pastor and district leader Ken Platt, an amazing CDN trainer, he's pouring into other pastors and church planters. He's leading a training center in northeastern PA that is flourishing and spinning off more churches. In fact, Ken in Acts 12:24 is giving leadership to key leaders of the Church of the Nazarene and is launching a training center in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. And get this, at the invitation of other Free Methodist leaders, Pastor Ken Platt and Pastor Shane Haffey are invited to launch a church development network training center in Republic of Ireland in Dublin. God is working.
So the amazing thing about CDN and our partnership is just that. It's a partnership. It's the multiplication movement's not happening because Chris and I are sitting here making all these things happen. No, we create environments for people to hear from God and awaken to that call, and then we lean on one another like incredible leaders like Pastor Ken and Joe and Diane and their faithfulness and others around to disciple, to mature, to walk alongside people as they take steps of faith. And we see this happen again and again and again. We're in this together. It's an incredible thing to see the vision of 1,000 churches being planted in creative spaces and places in Acts 12:24 conference and around the world. I just love it. We are better together because together we plant churches.